We already know pretty much everything about the new iPhone 16 series way ahead of its official launch, and today we've even got news on the iPhone 17's design, so make sure you hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first up, we'll quickly cover the iPhone 17 stuff, and according to Jeff Poo, they're going to be getting rid of the Plus model and replacing it with a new Slim model, and this is going to be a 6.6-inch display, meaning it's in between the normal size and the size of the Pro Max. Now we've also got news that Apple are going to be getting ready for in-display Face ID sensors for 2026, and this means it's not going to be on this year's iPhone or the iPhone 17, but we do know that Apple are working on reducing the size of the dynamic island for next year's iPhone. But whether you're going to wait for the iPhone 17, get this year's iPhone 16, or just keep your current iPhone, a great way to protect your iPhone is with today's video sponsor, the Tauras O-Stand Spin. With the Tauras O-Stand Spin, you get the built-in magnetic ring providing a strong magnetic connection, and also a stand that can hold your phone at any angle, but now the stand itself spins around a full 360 degrees, giving you a lot more options, especially when the phone's in landscape mode, which is normally how I would watch media on my phone. As well as being an incredibly versatile case, it's also very protective, with its all-round protection protruding past the camera lenses as well as the display. It doesn't add too much thickness to the phone, and the frosted back goes really well with my black iPhone. Now you can use it as a stand or like a pop socket and hold it in your hand to watch media. And Tauras insists on originality, with the O-Stand series being representative of their original stand case, and they're committing to bring the stand cases as a more convenient way of using phones in day-to-day life. So for anyone that needs a new case, I highly recommend you go and check it out now by clicking the link down in the description below. So now back to the iPhone 16, and we've had a huge amount of photo leaks and dummy models, and thankfully they're all confirming the same thing with no conflicting information. Now the new design is looking very likely, and the new capture button is also included on all of the cases and dummy models, so we can be pretty sure that this is the new design of the iPhone 16. And case manufacturer Shop System has also posted images of the iPhone 16 case making molds, and as you can see, that not only does it look slightly larger than before, but we've also got some changes to the MagSafe ring, with the new MagSafe ring being substantially thinner than with the iPhone 15. Now we're also seeing plenty of hands-on images of the iPhone 16 cropping up, but at this stage they're all simply just 3D renders, VFX and photoshopped images. There's been no prototype discovered for the iPhone 16 just yet, but I have based these concept renders here on all of the leaked information so far, so you know that this is what you can expect from the iPhone 16 lineup. When it comes to the iPhone 16 though, the main changes are of course going to be improved cameras with better chipsets. We're going to get better and brightly displays that are also going to be slightly larger for the Pro and the Pro Max, and then we're also expecting the Pro models to come with an extra 2GB of RAM when compared to last year. Now the main focus for the iPhone 16 release is apparently going to be in software though, and according to Mark Gurman, iOS 18 is going to be one of the biggest changes to iOS that we've seen in a long time, with the main focus being on AI integrated into the phone, and he tells us in his latest Power On newsletter that plenty of apps are going to be getting an overhaul. He says in the newsletter that it's going to be apps like Notes, Mails, Photos and Fitness, and they're going to see many improvements, and unlike other devices, Apple is going to be focusing on the on-device AI integration without the need for any processing in the cloud. Now software is of course one of Apple's biggest strengths, so I'm excited to see what they deliver with the iOS 18 AI. Now for those excited for the iPhone 16 series though, we're now going to run through the full specs, design and the expected pricing for each model in the range to help you guys decide which one is right for you, so make sure you hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first up, we have the standard iPhone 16. And with the standard iPhone 16, we get a 6.3-inch OLED display, but unfortunately, this is still going to be an LTPS display. The iPhone 16 is going to have a taller aspect ratio than last year, and it's going to be protected by Ceramic Shield 2. We get the new dynamic island, which covers up the 12-megapixel selfie camera and Face ID sensors, and then on the rear we've got a 48-megapixel primary camera and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide. It's powered by the A18 chipset, and it's likely coming with 6GB of RAM and up to 512GB of storage. It's also powered by a 3450 mAh battery with 30W fast charging, and it's going to come with advanced 5G, Bluetooth 5.3 and Wi-Fi 7. Now it will of course ship with iOS 18 and is expected to launch from around $850 in September 2024. Now next up we've got the iPhone 16 Plus, With the iPhone 16 Plus, we get a 6.9-inch OLED display, and again, unfortunately, this is another LTPS display. It's got a taller aspect ratio than its predecessor and is protected by Ceramic Shield 2. We get the new dynamic island, which covers up the 12-megapixel selfie cameras and Face ID sensors, and then on the rear we've got a 48-megapixel primary camera and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide. It's powered by the A18 chipset, and it's likely going to come with a choice of 6GB of RAM and up to 512GB of storage. It's powered by a 4420 mAh battery with 30-watt fast charging, and it comes with the advanced 5G, Bluetooth 5.3 and Wi-Fi 7. Now it of course ships with iOS 18 and it's expected to launch from around $950 in September 24. Next up, we've got the iPhone 16 Pro. Now the iPhone 16 Pro has a 6.3-inch 120Hz LTPO OLED display. It's got a taller aspect ratio than its predecessor, and the Pro is protected by Ceramic Shield 3. We get the new dynamic island, which covers up the 12-megapixel selfie camera and Face ID sensors. Then on the rear, we get a 48-megapixel primary camera, a 48-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and then we've got a 12-megapixel tetraprism camera with 5x optical zoom. It's powered up by the A18 Pro chipset, and it comes with 8GB of RAM and up to 1TB of storage. And it's also powered up by a 3450 mAh battery, and fast charging is still unknown at the moment, but we do expect some improvements. And of course, it comes with the advanced 5G, Bluetooth 5.3 and Wi-Fi 7. It will of course ship with iOS 18 and is expected to launch from around $1,100 in September 2024. Now finally, we save the best to last, the iPhone 16 Pro Max. With the iPhone 16 Pro Max, we get a 6.9-inch 120Hz LTPO OLED display. Again, like the other phones, it's got a taller aspect ratio than its predecessor and is protected by Ceramic Shield 3. We get the dynamic island, which covers up the 12-megapixel selfie cameras and Face ID sensors. And then on the rear, we've got a 48-megapixel primary camera, a 48-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 12-megapixel tetraprism camera with 5x optical zoom. It's powered up by the A18 Pro chipset. It comes with 8GB of RAM and up to 1TB of storage, and it's powered up by a 4500 mAh battery. As with the 16 Pro, we don't know the fast charging at the moment, but we do expect to see some improvements. Now it comes with the advanced 5G, Bluetooth 5.3 and Wi-Fi 7, and it will of course ship with iOS 18, and this one's expected to launch around $1,300 in September 24. So overall, the iPhone 16 series is looking like a great addition to the lineup, whether you're after the Pro or the non-Pro. With better and brighter displays, upgraded chipsets, and more improvements to the cameras, it's definitely going to be a popular device. And iOS 18 is going to bring plenty of new features thanks to the on-device AI, but at least some of the new features should hopefully be passed down to the older iPhones as well, depending on the hardware requirements. Now, given its similarities to the predecessor though, I can't imagine anyone with an iPhone 15 rushing for an upgrade, but for anyone with an older iPhone or looking to get their first iPhone, then it's definitely going to be a great choice. Now of course, launch is still a little bit away at the moment, but as we approach it, more and more leaks are no doubt going to come flooding in, and I'll be sharing them as soon as they do, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.